The physical requirements of basic training are no joke. You'll need to be in tip-top physical shape to manage the grueling marches, pass the hard physical fitness evaluations, and, of course, endure the notorious Hell Week in the end. Living is considerably more about your mindset than your physical fitness. Basic training is just 20% physical and 80% mental. Let's figure out. Basic training is designed to psychologically disassemble the civilian and turn you into a physically healthy, proud, and committed soldier. It's intended to check your ability to take care of extreme physical and mental stress while teaching you the rules and habits of your chosen branch of service. In general, military life is famously regular and hierarchical, and fundamental training is an intense version of this. It's a time to weed those out who cannot adjust to the requirements of military life before funds are wasted on them. A hallmark of fundamental training is that there is always somebody telling you what to do when performing it and how to do it right. The role of your training instructors, or TIS, and drill instructors, or even DIS, is to correct your attitude into the Army way of thinking and help you create self-discipline, sacrifice, loyalty, and obedience. And, unlike at a civilian job, disobedience will not only get you fired, it may get you sent to jail. There is no denying it. Basic training is tough, and it's tough on goal. So, how do you best prepare yourself to not only survive basic training but flourish in it? Naturally, making sure you're in the very best physical shape possible will make your basic training experience somewhat shocking, plus some familiarity with firearms will not hurt, either. Take some opportunity to look up the criteria for your branch's physiological tests and make sure you can muscle out at least the minimal requirements. Running and boot camp style workouts are a fantastic way to get into shape for fundamental. Do not expect to have fit at fundamental, that's a major rookie mistake. Basic training is intended to test your limits, so being in top physical shape before you head to basic will indicate you can focus more on surviving the mental challenges than on keeping up with the bodily ones. Mentally preparing for fundamental training is likely the tougher challenge. No matter how well prepared you may think you are, it's impossible to fully prepare for the psychological challenges of basic training, since it's specifically designed to check your ability to handle unexpected challenges. Taking some time to learn the fundamental military history, provisions, and habits before basic will help you thrive in the classroom portions of your training. Strong teamwork and leadership skills will also give you an edge. Basic training is intended to teach recruits how to function as a staff and focus on the web instead of theme. But be careful that you don't stand out too much. Being too good of a pioneer can put you in danger of being singled out by your DI and getting responsible for the operation of your whole squad. Fundamental training is, first and foremost, a test of your discipline. Fundamental can't cause you to more disciplined, but your DIS can make you wish you had been. Coming into fundamental with an attitude of obedience and subject will be more comfortable if you remember that it is temporary. Also, it's not personal. Only keep your head down, concentrate on the task at hand, and do not procrastinate, and you may make it through unscathed. The very last thing you're going to want to do before you go is to make sure that you've made structures for the day-to-day details of being away from home for weeks of instruction. Your contact with the external world will be severely restricted during basic training, and also you won't have the option to leave to deal with any problems that arise if you don't want to quit altogether. Whose will take maintenance of your house, pick up your email, and make sure your bills are paid while you are away? Taking some time to plan for these things will free you to focus on surviving basic training without fretting about what is happening in your home. You will also need to let your friends and family know how they can get in touch with you. What the rules are for mail, for instance, any gifts or care packages will likely be confiscated, and anybody writing to you should be cautious not to use any military title that you haven't been gained. Now that you know just how to prepare for fundamental training, let's find out what you may expect when you arrive. But since basic training is each branch's first chance to turn civilians into military employees, there are some commonalities in their basic training. Physically, all units will probably need recruits to run at least 1.5 miles, complete a minimum number of push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups, as nicely as capable of marching long distances carrying a heavy pack. Daily runs or aerobic workouts will become a part of your regular no matter which branch you pick, along with endless drills, such as barracks inspections and status at the focus for what might seem like hours, all designed to check your obedience and discipline. These drills will be your first chance to witness an instructor go ballistic on recruits, so attention to detail in these areas will probably be vital in making sure you aren't the focus of their anger. Any fundamental training will also have a classroom learning component, where you'll focus on the military background, the legal side of the war, and the principles and customs of each particular branch. Do not be tempted to think of this because the easy part, there'll be examinations. And it'll be every bit as significant to pass these tests as some of the physical ones. And, of course, no simple training would be complete without extensive weapons training. You'll learn how to assemble and disassemble your weapon, the best way to sight targets at different distances, and spend plenty of time working on your marksmanship. By the end of basic training, you ought to be so familiar with your service weapon that it will seem like an extension of your body. Beyond the similarities, fundamental training for each branch of the military is unique to that particular branch's requirements and goals, and you're going to face countless challenges throughout your coaching to test your readiness to function in that branch. During the first stage, the red phase, you will learn the fundamentals of soldiering, military history, and worth, and get your first preference of their physical and mental demands of Army life with endless drills, reviews and tactical marches. Once you move on to the white stage, you will receive coaching in weapons and marksmanship, in addition to navigation training, which will come in very handy later on. If you make it into the final blue phase, you'll have the chance to get your hands on machine guns, grenades, and other advanced weapons. You will also be expected to finish a 10 to 15 kilometer strategic march with a complete package without criticism. Fundamental training for the Navy is just 7 weeks long. But do not allow the shorter duration fool you. It's every bit as brutal and demanding since that the Army's 10-week course. In addition to classroom training, strategic marches, and endless drills, the early days of Navy basic training will include extensive firearms training about the M16 rifle and 12-gauge shotguns, together with the uniquely naval physical benchmark, swimming. The most challenging part of basic training for any naval recruit is during the week when you board a ship for the first time. The boat will be more land-bound, but that will not make it any easier for you while you get some hands-on experience in the life of a seaman. On top of maintaining your fitness and discipline, you'll also need to internalize a whole new pair of seafaring customs. Memorize boat language, learn how to identify ships and aircraft, and become skilled in semaphore craft, or even flag signaling to communicate with other ships. At sea, a ship and her team need to be able to handle any type of situation with just the tools on the board, so you'll also gain first aid certification and rescue training. You will also need to be ready for the biggest potential danger on a ship, fire, and practice fire prevention and firefighting abilities. When the Air Force is your calling, then you'll head to San Antonio, Texas for an 8-week basic Army coaching, or BMT course to discover if you've got exactly what it takes to join the Air Force. Like all the Navy, the specialized knowledge required of Air Force support women and men will be the hardest part of basic training. You will spend hundreds of hours learning about conflict regulation, mental preparation for combat, and airborne language and operations, while being subjected to endless drills, marches, inspections, and workouts made to push your head and body to their limits. If nothing you've heard so far seems like that far of a challenge to you, afterward, the Marines might be just the branch for you. To be eligible to attend basic training, you will want to pass an initial strength test. If you can meet with the minimal standards for push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, and running, you will earn the privilege of undergoing an intense 13-week standard training expertise. On top of the usual discipline, fitness, and classroom training, you'll also pass a daunting swim qualification and complete combat water survival training. Get ready for endless hours treading water in miserable conditions. You might believe that if you've made this far in basic training, the worst should be behind you, but you could not be more wrong. Welcome to Hell. Hell Week, that is. Before you can graduate from fundamental TR training, adorn your place alongside the recognized members of your chosen branch of service, you should prove yourself at a closing, a grueling test of power, endurance, and mental strength. When it's the Army you're hoping to combine, before can graduate from basic training, you'll need to survive a field coaching bivouac, endurance exercise that will tie all of your training jointly and examine your eligibility to survive in the components with minimal equipment and discover your way to safety with nothing but an old-fashioned compass. You'll also have to pass a last fitness test and the end-of-cycle test with 21,212 individual tasks that you must pass to graduate. In case you're attracted to the life of a sailor, the Navy will direct you to a final evaluation of your seaworthiness. The Battle Saint Stations test still incorporates whatever you have learned in the past couple of weeks into 12 shipboard scenarios that must be completed perfectly. The scariest portion of the Navy's basic training, though, has to be the confidence chamber. You and 100 other recruits will line up at a sealed chamber wearing gas masks, while a RIP gas pill is lit in the room. Then, one by one, you each remove your mask, throw it in the garbage and recite your name and social security number before being permitted to escape the gas. Only after you have passed these gauntlets will you get your official Navy ball cap, which informs the world you're no longer a recruit but a full-fledged Navy sailor. Suppose you've got your eyes on the heavens. In that case, the Air Force's BMT Barrier course will tie together everything you have learned over your training, from strategic skills to marksmanship to attack exercises. Finally, on the last day of basic training, you will finish the infamous Airman's Run, a 2.5 miles that you will do under the watchful eyes of the countless family and friends members who have come to see your graduation service. Much like the Marines themselves, their version Fell Week is in a league of its own. The Crucible is a 5,454-hour exercise that recruits must complete on only 8 hours sleep and 2.5 MRE rations, or meals ready to eat. The event starts at 3 a.m. with a 6-mile road march, the first of many marches, 40 miles less than 3 days. Between grueling marches, recruits will compete in 4 different 4-hour tests that might include crossing a precarious rope bridge with equipment and ammo, running to firing stations and engaging pop-up objectives together with limited rounds, and combating other recruits with a padded pole-like weapon called a pugil stick, among other obstacles. Finally, totally exhausted and ravenously hungry, the Crucible ends with another 9-mile march, and in the finish line, successful recruits instantly get their Marine Corps emblem and the honor of being called Marine for the first time. Now that you understand what it takes to survive standard instruction, make sure and share your ideas in the comments. Do you think that could survive basic training? We hope you are learning something new every day from our videos. If you want us to cover a specific topic, let us know in the comments section below. We are doing our bit to spread awareness about the common health conditions and exciting topics. Do your part by sharing this video with your friends and social circle. Thank you. Get value by subscribing our Get Value channel. Thank you.